lesson, you'll learn your first 3 characters. Very exciting! Before we begin, I want to teach you how to say Chinese characters in Chinese. The word is 汉字. Han refers to the Han people or the ethnic group that the majority of Chinese people belong to. 字 just means character. So now you can tell people, 我在学汉字. I'm learning Chinese characters. Okay, let's get started. Do you remember how to say person or people in Chinese? Right, it's 人. That's your first 汉字. This 汉字 is an example of what you see is what you get character. Doesn't it look like a person walking? This is how it's written stroke by stroke. Let's take a look at other words that contain the character 人. The Chinese word for man contains this character. It's 男人. Notice that we've given the pinyin for 男 but not for 人. From now on, we'll be mixing pinyin and hanzi all the time, depending on whether we've taught the character or not. So does the word for woman, 女人. Great! That's your first character. For our next character, I want you to think about how to say the word from, as in from here to there. The word is 从. 从 is your second character. Can you see that it's basically just 2 人 squeezed together into one character? So now you know that 人 can be a character on its own, and it can also be a component of another character. As you can see, when a character becomes part of a new character, often it's gotta change its shape to accommodate. In this case, 人 has to narrow itself to squeeze into the new character. This is how 从 is written stroke by stroke. It's pretty easy to come up with a way to remember this character. For example, you could think about 2 people walking all the way from Beijing to Shanghai. Learning Hanzi is a highly individualized process. Everybody has a different method that works best for them. Some people like to make up little stories. If that's true for you, then it's best if you can come up with these stories yourself. The more embarrassing, the more absurd it is, the better it is, because strong emotions help things stick. Let's read this together. 从1到3 From 1 to 3. Now tell me, what's the most generic measure word in Chinese, the one that's used the most with almost any noun? Yep, it's 个. This is your last character for this lesson. You can see that this one is just a 人 on the top with one vertical line underneath. It looks like an arrow pointing up, doesn't it? Here's how it's written stroke by stroke. Now let's read this together. 3个人 3 people. 人 从 个 Hey, look, you're reading Chinese characters. Now you know all of these Hanzi. Congratulations, you are on your way to becoming literate in Chinese.